friends, welcome back to my channel. How are you doing all? First tell me this. I hope you are doing well, staying healthy, enjoying life, and must be planning to improve your life. Here we are to do so. Here, daily we read a chapter of a novel to develop reading habit to improve our English, including reading, writing, speaking, vocabulary at the same time, enhancing our knowledge. As we know, reading is the best practice to develop all these things, which help us in many ways. Reading could be one of the good hobby to make a change in ourselves, as we have heard from many prominent personalities that books change their life, add values, widen their knowledge. We can live other lives by reading a book and get all those experience and learn from their mistake. So why to commit same mistake if we can learn from them and improve our life? So join me in this journey to become best version of ourselves. Before starting, I would love to hear your thought in comment section. Remember to like, share with your loved one to change their life as well, and don't forget to subscribe my channel. Press the bell icon for daily updates. Today we are going to read fourth part of this novel. Novel named is Your Dreams Are Mine Now, which is written by Ravinder Singh. In previous video, we have covered part 3 in which we talked about that Rupali was going through in her college. So she noticed a notice on the board which read that there was a invitation for the music club. Whoever is interested, that person can come there and give their orientation. Yeah, you can say orientation was there. So when Rupali noticed this, she was so excited because she was keen to a music, and in her school she used to play and she used to sing and participate in this song. So when she got this, she was over the moon, and she went to her room and she practiced a lot, which were one of the song which were sung by Mangeshkar. So after particular date which were assigned for the orientation or for selecting the candidate for that brand group, so she went there and she was so excited that she reached there 50 minutes earlier. So there she got to know that she is earlier to time. So she was confused at what to do now because she don't know there anyone. And there was girl, uh, that girl name was Seetal. So she introduced herself and asked her some of the question. Then she made her introduce to all the member of her group, because all the member were the that music band group. So after that she was comfortable, and like this 10 minutes passed, and then it started. So as soon as she started and her song and about to take a first pause, then she realized that there was a mob of about a dozen of people rushed in and began vandalizing the whole setup. So all of them were confused at what is happening. So without getting a time, their guitar was broken, the drums were punctured, and that Sheetal run to a Rupali to protect her, and like this happened in that auditorium. All were at the sea because no one was able to get that what was happening. So like this it was in the part 3, and today we are going to read this part 4 and see that what happened next. So let's read and see that what was there, what was the reason for that people, that gang who was doing all this, and how they cope with those all things. So I hope you enjoyed that chapter, and today you are going to enjoy this also. So let's start.
4. But who were these people? Later in the evening that day, at Shafi's tea shop, members of the music club, along with the first year students, had gathered. Behind a wide serving area at the counter sat Shafi, the owner, who was known for his jolly nature. It wasn't just a tea shop. For anything, the painted red sections on the otherwise white walls of the shop advertised the branding of Coca Cola. Stacks of crates with empty cold drink bottles, along with two fridges full of sealed bottles, stood next to each other just outside the shop. The shop served all sorts of packaged snacks and offered a limited variety of evening snacks like samosas and pakoras. Yet, the shop was called a tea shop for the special masala tea it served. Even students from other colleges which were not in the immediate vicinity of the shop would turn up at Shafi's to sip a cup of this specialty. Shafi took great pride in telling the world that he used some unique herbs in his tea. When his customers inquired about the same, he would take similar pride in telling them that it was his trade secret. Not that he hadn't ever revealed it to anyone. Till not so long back he used to do so. But he stopped telling people the day he learned that even the makers of Coca Cola that he sold did not share their trade secret. People humored Shafi's pride in his concoction for the good natured guy that he was. They didn't bother him much as long as they were assured that he wasn't using any drug in his tea. To add to the aesthetics of Shafi's tea shop was a huge banyan tree rooted only a few feet away from his shop, with its magnificent branches spreading out in various directions over his shop. Shafi had intelligently placed 2 dozen fiber chairs and a couple of tables under the shade of that banyan, thereby making it a perfect hangout for students. The meeting that evening at Shafi's tea shop wasn't planned. It was Tenzing's idea to bring everyone there. He wanted to use the opportunity to talk to everyone and calm them down. Apart from being the leading member of the music club at college, Tenzing was also the head of the cultural club at the university. He felt it was his responsibility to clarify the matter. Please listen to me, guys, he said, addressing the group. Tenzing updated the first year students that a year before, their music club had performed in an event organized by the present party in power in the Students' Union. Back then, that party was not in power. The music club was not aware that the leaders of that party wanted to gather the crowd through a music event and later make their appeal for vote to them. The club was never into any election gimmick and had always stayed away from political equations. But the party had managed to keep them in the dark till the very end of the show. They were told that the event was meant to raise a voice in favor of improving student life on campus. It was about implementing new ideas that the students wanted to introduce and to do away with the administration's outdated policies. In all, it was an event meant to make some noise in the deaf ears of university administration. Tenzing and his team were promised that it wouldn't be political activity in any way. But once they had performed and the crowd cheered for them and against the due authorities, the present leading party broke its promise. They announced that the band favored their party and appealed to the crowd to vote for them. The very next day, the music club had officially denied the allegations of supporting their political party, or for that matter, supporting any party in due. But the damage was already done. In the next few weeks, the party played various populist games and came to power after the elections were held. Unfortunately, the party that got voted out never believed their clarifications. Their members continued to think that the music club was the prime cause for their defeat, or at least, that it all started. from the show it had performed. The impact of their performance on the elections was high because of the clean image of the members of the music club and the issues which they had stood for in the past. The guys who vandalized the setup today are people from that very party that was voted out, Tenzing said. As he finished, Tenzing kept the empty glass of tea back on the table. He looked at the faces around him. Everyone was listening to his story with keen interest. For the present members of the club, it was an unpleasant walk down memory lane. Something they wished they could undo. So does that give them the right to vandalize things whenever they want? Can't we complain against them? The guy who was supposed to play the Congo asked. Tenzing looked at him and thought for a second before he spoke again. We can. But this time we had unintentionally provided them the opportunity to do so. No one understood what Tenzing meant when he said that. So he clarified. Actually, we have a dedicated music room. And we are supposed to practice in that room only. To perform anywhere on campus, we need to take official permission, something that we didn't do this time. The voltage has been fluctuating in the music room for the past few weeks. Two of our electronic guitars have gone bad, and the adapter of the keyboards is dead because of this fluctuation. The administration was supposed to fix the issue, but as usual, the music room isn't their priority. Taking permission to practice in a different place is a long process, and the department generally doesn't allow this. Else, we would have this audition in the first week of the new session itself. But then we had also assumed that the department would fix the electrical mess in the music room, which they didn't till the last day, despite our requests. With no choice left, we thought of using one of the classroom after college hours. Moreover, the party members who destroyed our setup today had been lying low for a long time. So we thought we could go ahead without fear. Tenzing paused for a moment and continued. That plan now has gone for a toss. Those guys must have somehow found out that we hadn't taken permission. As he sighed at their lapse in judgment, he felt a hand on his shoulder. Chal koi na yaar. Never mind. These things happen. It was Sheetal patting his shoulder, trying to cheer him up. A moment of silence passed. People took their time to digest the logic behind what had happened. It still appeared illogical that anyone could come and damage things just like that. Some of them sipped the tea slowly, thinking about it all. Some of them hung their heads in disappointment. Some played with the empty tea glasses between their hands on the table and kept staring at them. So, what do we do now? Can't we take the help of the party that is at present in power? After all, even though it was unintentional from the music club's side, the club is an important reason behind their coming to power. They will surely help us. This was Rupali who would thought a lot about this. That's not an option for us. As a cultural club, we have clearly protested against the ruling party's actions last year. If we reach out to them, it will only justify what they had been claiming till now, that we sang for them. We don't want to make this political again, Sheetal said. Tenzing then got up and announced, we will meet after a week. Meanwhile, I will seek permission from the administration to issue us a specific place to practice. All right, then. Now let's change the topic and talk about something else, Sheetal offered, and a few people smiled. I agree. How about another round of tea, guys? Tenzing raised his empty glass. Kya baat hai, Tenzing? Another round of tea for the juniors. Harpreet teased him. And Shafi bhai, samosas only for Harpreet. Tenzing shouted, looking towards the tea shop counter. Harpreet looked confused, wondering why Tenzing was being so nice to him. You are going to repair the broken instruments, na? Tenzing chuckled. Everyone laughed as Harpreet made a face. With that, everyone began chatting amongst themselves. While the juniors talked about their personal backgrounds, the members of the music club shared their insights from their college and campus so far. They told stories about a few interesting musical nights that they had hosted in the past and the awards that they had bagged in inter-college competitions. Sheetal mentioned a few funny events from her memory of previous year's annual festival at the university level. With great joy, Harpreet narrated how Tenzing was in the middle of singing a patriotic song when he received an electric shock from his mic on stage. Instantly, he ended up saying, "Oh Brain asterisk 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 asterisk" on his mic. Everyone heard him and the whole patriotic mood went for a toss. The crowd whistled and shouted, "Once more! Once more!" Listening to that, laughter erupted all around the tables outside Shafi's tea shop. It lightened the mood. Rupali felt a bit awkward at that, but Sheetal's joyful presence next to her helped. Soon the samosas arrived, not just for Harpreet, but for everyone. That evening the group didn't play any music, but a new bond developed on the grounds of a common interest: music. The auditions appeared to be a mere formality now. Rupali would be in the group for sure. As the only girl who had appeared for the audition, she turned out to be the right replacement for Sheetal, who was going to pass out of due the same year. But amidst all this, Rupali was thinking about something else, rather someone else. It was a face that had looked familiar. The face she had seen among those who had gate crashed and disrupted the auditions. He hadn't stepped inside the class, but had stood at the entrance, his arms folded across his chest, just like the other day. Just when they were all stepping out of the vandalized classroom, she had tried to recall that face. And when she succeeded in doing so, it came as a shock. He was the same guy who had interrogated her on the evening when she had been planting the sapling.